That's just a quick note about fuel filters. You should replace your fuel filters as often as possible, and I would say at least seasonally. And the reason being is you can see down in there that already this new fuel filter has sucked up some debris, quite a bit of debris that's already gathered in there. And without that filter being changed regularly, you open yourself up to a couple things. You make your fuel pump work harder, so this guy is trying to suck more fuel in, and it can't suck the fuel in because the debris is clogging that screen. And the other thing that can happen too is if for whatever reason this fuel filter perforates, all that debris then bypasses the fuel filter, gets stuck and hung up in the fuel pump, and then gets sucked into your carburetor as well, and can cause all sorts of running issues and operational issues. This is a John Deere X500 that I have in here servicing today, and overall these are very nice units. They either come with a flavor, I think, of the Kawasaki or the Kohler engine. This happens to be the Kawasaki flavored one. I think, if I recall correctly, it also comes with has the option for a Kohler twin cylinder on the same series line. I'd have to double check on the interwebs for that, but just really wanted to point out that you should change your fuel filter as often as you possibly can. I mean, I think they're like $6 or $7 a piece, somewhere in there. And one thing that I do to make these go on a little bit easier and come off a little bit easier for the next schlub that comes along to change this is I use a little bit of marine grease. Any grease will do, but I use a little bit of grease on the barbed fitting, and that way it does a couple things. It keeps the fuel line from adhering to the plastic, because 9 times out of 10 consumers are going to run gasoline that has ethanol in it, and what that does is it dries out the line, and more times often than not I will have an issue of having to cut the fuel hose back further and further and further, because the barb ends up getting stuck in here, and the barb is about 1.25 inches longer or so, somewhere in there. But the other thing it does too as well is it keeps this rubber fuel line pliable. So that's something that I just do regularly, and I know a lot of people just kind of shove them in there and put them back together, but